Hello, I am Nimja, and this is Nimja Live, February 2019, with the theme Feeling Calm. Now, before I begin, as always, I'd like to thank the continued support of my patrons and donators. And of course, the recording will be available on the site with the background music at hypno.nimja.com. Welcome, everyone. I actually have a few things to go through. Every 2 months, there's a Hypnosis Amsterdam meetup, in Amsterdam, of course. The next one will be in March. You can see details on that on hypno.nimja.com/live. The other sad news is that I will not be going to Nihu 10. Unfortunately, some things came in between, and I'm unable to go. Anyway, that is all for the news for now, so welcome everyone. Oh, and don't forget, I'm not able to chat, of course, because the sound of the keyboard would not be very nice for all of you. For those of you who may not have been at a Nimja Live before, the structure is very simple. In the beginning, we will discuss the theme where you can provide some input on the file that we're going to record. The file will be completely improvised, so your input makes the file. Then, after the file, we will have a Q&A session. So please keep your questions until after the session. During the session, I politely ask you to not chat. Let other people enjoy that moment, and you don't have to participate, but it would be nice if you remained quiet. And I'm very glad to see that so many of you are here. And hello to the waving people. Now, today's theme is feeling calm. Now, what helps you to feel calm? What helps you to feel more relaxed and more at ease? And yes, I am aware that apparently today is a big thing in the US, but still, I'm sure there will be some people uninterested in those sports and watching me instead. Oh, keep in mind that I alternate between gentle and kinky live streams. This is a gentle one. So today's trance will not contain anything like obedience or kink or eroticism. Anyway, let me write that down. Being held, blanket and warmth, blankets, rain, I heard as well, or saw as well. Soft speech, candles, maybe scented candles. Scented candles, breathing, floating, breathing, lots of hugs, lavender scent. And drawing rain or water. I'm sure that one or two of you would enjoy hearing me say water more. Leaves. Apparently more calls for lavender. Wonder where that comes from. Something in the mountains. Snowfall at night. Keep in mind I can't do everything, of course. Some things. Ooh, seeing the stars is also nice. Although maybe a mountain lake. It's almost a shame I don't do... Oh, yes, the sound of the wind versus wind in leaves. Now, I think that this file will be mostly ethereal, so I don't think I'll include hugs. I'm sure that this will disappoint one or two of you, but there are a lot of files with hugs. Ooh, of course, if we're at night, we can think about the moon. And as tempted as I am to go for nature's sweet embrace, there's an old file already for that. A rocking chair. Ooh. Oh man, that's like the aurora borealis. That is a beautiful idea. I just don't know if that would... I'm writing it down. Rocking chair. Dryer blankets. Yes, recently dried blankets are, of course, also very nice. Sleeping gas, not really appropriate to this situation. A waterfall and soft animal sounds. I must say, though, that this has been one of the most how do I say this? The file with the most suggestions given by everyone. There's a lot of inputs now, and unfortunately I can't do everything. So I have a rough idea of what we will do. And yes, feeling calm is a pretty ambiguous topic, but it's therefore very interesting to see what kind of things everyone else comes up with. Now, let me see. So I have a lot of ideas. At the same time, I'll see if I can make it ambiguous enough for people to enjoy in different ways. Anyway, let us get ready. And yes, I probably will turn some of these extra ideas into files. Keep in mind, though, that you can always contact me on hypno.nimja.com/contact. If you have ideas for files, please tell me. I think I have one file alive even about space and stars. All right, is everyone ready? Sitting in a relaxed place, being comfy, preferably with headphones, and all cozy. All right, well, make sure that you are nice and comfy. Now, before we begin, I will do my best to integrate a lot of the ideas in different ways to make it ambiguous. And let your mind wander. I thought I heard something. All right. Well, we might be beginning a little bit early, but that's okay. And indeed, I'll do my best to not forget the spiral. It's only happened a few times. I think it might have happened twice, but I'm not sure. Maybe only once. Ooh, and we're at exactly 100 viewers. Welcome, everyone. We're about to begin the trance. I'm not going to count all the mistakes that I made. I've made over 500 files. I'm sure that I've made a mistake or two along the line. All right. And the Nimja Live is every month, although for patrons there's a live light every other month as well, extra. Anyway, let us begin. Hello, I am Nimja, and this is Nimja Live, Feeling Calm. This file is just one of the many, many ways in which you can enjoy calm in your mind. The world around us can sometimes seem overwhelming in ways that we can't quite put into words, and yet we are able to enjoy moments of calm, beautiful sensations of relaxation in various ways. Some imagery can help people feel incredibly calm, while at other times all it takes is a countdown, or just someone telling you to relax one part of your body at a time, piece by piece. Perhaps you'd like me to count down, or maybe you'd prefer me to sketch, paint a beautiful picture of you sitting in a rocking chair, wrapped in warm blankets. The question is, what makes you feel most calm? Which image, which thought, which feeling maybe even which sound makes you the most calm. It can be anything: the purring of a cat, the breathing of a companion, the sound of the wind rustling through the leaves, the rhythmic cadence of rain falling into a mountain lake, rippling the surface mysteriously under the light of the moon. And yet, for others it is a place, a feeling, somewhere to curl up in warmth, a smell, a beautiful memory of flowers, something to build on. Feeling calm is not something that anyone could put into just one or two words, unless they use the words that you've already said. Some people enjoy the smallest simple things in ways that you may not expect. And I wonder where your mind travels when I mention the idea of water all around you. Does it visit to an ocean, a lake, a sea, or a stream? Does it follow the stream down all the way, flowing from one place to the next, going deep into the sea, spreading out from one place to the next until there is no identifiable drop anymore, but those melted into the large expanse of water before you? From lavender scents to the crackling of wood of a campfire, pine, or maybe other woods, the scent of theirs spreading through the air as the flames lick across the surface. The warm glow of fire warms deep inside. Simply staring at the dancing of the flames is enough to help some calm. For others, it is snow, flakes tiny, almost insignificant of their own, but many of them becoming a beautiful display of stars floating through the sky. But a clear sky shows different stars, high, little dots of light far away into the distance, enticing dreams and inspiring thoughts. And some see the dancing lights, the aurora borealis. Some see the dancing lights, the aurora borealis, the northern lights floating, dancing across the sky, like miniature flames and yet enormously high, colors shifting, dancing, floating. For some it is the sounds of creatures, animals who live in the forest. Perhaps an owl, the scuttering of something else. Comforting sounds helping you to feel that everything around you is at peace. In the end, the thing that makes us calm the most is the acceptance of the outside world calming down around us. from a beautifully still mountain lake reflecting the faraway peaks in the depths below, to every drop becoming its own little drum when rain clatters across the surface. Every crackle of flame moving across the surface of the wood, slowly burning in a beautiful, warm campfire. The texture of the blanket wrapped around you. The warm light of the flames guiding you to more warmth. The soft rumble of a faraway thunderstorm. A gentle, rolling sound that travels across the landscape, letting you know that everything is calm. In a way, your mind is the one rocking back and forth. From this innocent rocking chair where we started, we have gone on a beautiful exploration. A fantastic collection of feelings that spread inside and out. A calm feeling that caresses your senses until they too let go and expand into the world. The moon staring down, highlighting the beautiful shapes of the land, letting the ripples in the water have these beautiful edges of light, and the flame of a single candle, a lavender scent of memories. The dancing of one flame, as beautiful as any other, a light that guides you. And everything fades into a sweet place of calm, as finally the outside world no longer matters, and your mind finds itself invited, guided into a place of deep, comforting calm. In this place, your thoughts recover, where you heal and regain your strength. From a place of calm, you can enjoy the moment everlasting. A single drop of a second becomes an hour of peace. The moments spaced between my words become infinities, and yet the whole thing, this whole adventure, has been barely 11 minutes. You might wonder where time has gone, if it is stretching out before you or if it's just passing so easily that the mere idea that any time has passed seems strange. Allow yourself to feel where you are most calm. Look at the place inside that guides you more and more to the warm spaces that you enjoy. Listen to the beat, the rhythm of your own mind, and let it guide you like the rustling of the leaves to an innocent place of emptiness. And this feeling of calm can last as long as you want. The seconds can be stretched to encompass infinity as much as you want. Embrace the parts that you enjoy and build on them even more. Now in a moment I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath. And after you've taken this deep breath, let yourself sink even deeper. Now, and let the sound of your own breath help you calm even more. And whenever you want to remember the calm, all you need to do is listen to your own breath. In a moment, I'm going to count you up. And I hope you enjoy the imagery, the sound, the feelings. 1, 2, slowly waking. 3, 4, more aware. 5, 6, almost there. 7, 8, almost awake. And 9, 10, wake. And welcome back. Whew. That was a lot of suggestions to wrap in one file. And thank you very much, everyone. Whew. All right, Q&A. Come on with those cues, and I have the ace. And this, thank you for everyone who tuned in. Ted asks, do you want hugs? Yes. Also from you always, of course. Crystal Bubbles asks, what was for dinner? Ketchup chicken and a really nice salads. Eagle's Eye asks, what's your favorite impression to do? Next time, gadgets. Because I'm apparently old. Demi Cocofluff asks, did that relax you? Sort of. I mean, I still have to keep track of a lot of things. Rebecca Murphy asks, how did you discover FetLife? Someone told me. Madleaf asks, I think I've slept for a few minutes. I'm not sure. Was there a moment of silence somewhere? Sort of, but there wasn't that long a silence. Also, forgive me, if I don't answer every question immediately. Sometimes there are a lot of questions at once. K-Doodle asks, what's the most people you've seen on your live streams? I think 120 during a kink one. Westlake asked, are you going to visit the US at all? Or is it just completely cancelled? Well, I'm not visiting the US in March, so I don't currently have plans. I will visit the US sometime, and when I do, I will definitely mention it. Dawn Hart asks, when is your next X file coming out? You can ask about upcoming files, but I will never answer. Because mystery. Balkan asks, how old are you and what's your name? I am 38, and I needed to think about that for a moment because I had my birthday in December, and I am not sharing my name publicly. Rosetta asks, what's your favorite color? A question I've never answered before, with the clear blue of a winter sky. Lorianne asks, favorite scent, as in incense. Actually, so incense, I quite like the classics, which is Nagchampa. And I also quite like lavender, partly because of some history I've had with this scent. HP asks, how far are you with taking over the world? You have to hurry up because another hypnotist is currently planning to do it. Oh, it doesn't matter that much what they're planning. Mr. Outlaw asks, do you reply to every or most comments in your videos? Yes. I remove some of the most trolly comments, but I answer basically everything. Alicia asks, history? I don't understand the question. Lily asks, how was your weekend? Very nice, social and relaxing. Dawn Hart asks, what part of December is your birthday? Near the end, between Christmas and New Year's, so it's probably very close to yours. Cyflo Mike Fangirl asks, what advice would you give to your 18-year-old self? Poof. I would have a lot of stuff to say to him. A lot. I would probably be talking to him for days. Rebecca asks, did you personally hear anything of how the Midwest in America was literally colder than the Arctic? Well, it wasn't literally colder, it was figuratively colder. However, I did hear about it, yes. I have some friends in Canada as well, where it was minus 30-something Celsius. It was cold. Rosetta asks, do you have a favorite YouTuber? Well, I have a channel I semi-publicly support, which is Loading Ready Run. I think they're pretty good. Oh, I see. Alicia asked about my history with lavender. I did a sweat lodge a long time ago, several times, and the person who ran it used lavender a lot. It was very intense. Chiesa Hunt asks, try to say my name, please. I did. Becca Rose asks, if you could meet a celebrity, who would you meet? I am not sure. The funny thing is, the first person that comes to mind right now is Eddie Izzard. For no other reason than I think that he's a really fascinating person, and I think he'd be really good company. Golden Heart asks, favorite GLaDOS quote? I am a potato. Oh wow, I didn't actually know that the Midwest was colder than the Arctic. That is actually quite weird. This is an interesting question. Crystal Bubbles asks, is making a file ever stressful? Yes, but only when it's challenging in a way that's like either was not expected or if the subject is really complicated. Some subjects are really like they require me to take it very seriously and treat it with the most respect. Shane asks, if you can remember, is the recursive induction one track and replace snippets or 9 different tracks? I did the effort of recording it 9 times. Yes, I am insane. But it also helps with the, because I change my intonation slightly. Lily Jackson asks, if you could transform into any famous celebrity, who would it be and why? Probably a sexy female, because I'm a pervert. Leaf asks, I saw a company in the Netherlands near Amsterdam called Brainwash. Are you behind this? I'm sorry to say no. Becca Rose asks, how long do you think you'll carry on doing hypnosis? For a long time. Shane asks, so recursive induction is kind of a script? Well, yes and no. It is one of the most prepared files that I've done because of the nature of the file. But it's not exactly a script either. It's complicated. Dawn Hart asks, if you could bring one mythological creature from any mythical creature from any mythology into the modern age or real life, which one would you choose? Also probably something female. There's some very interesting like female mythological creatures. Maybe a forest nymph. Ted asks, what the... You know what? Never mind. Okay. Eagle's Eye asks, favorite book? I don't know if I have one book, but I like both the Hitchhiker's Guide and the Discworld series. Lorianne asks, do you currently have a long list of files waiting to be made? Yeah, my to-do list is, I think, over 200 or 300. 200, I think. 200 something. Ted and Alfred Jones asks, both ask if I have a favorite section or prefer Norse or Greek mythology. That's like, I kind of like Norse mythology more because it's more grungy. So the whole idea of having like several layers of worlds is really cool, connected by a tree. Rosetta Games asks, do you have a favorite video on your channel? No, not particularly. Rami Ungar asks, anything you're excited about coming up? The new Yoshi game. Crystal Bubbles asks, how long have you had the blue water bottle? Good question. I don't know, several years. Mudleaf asks, do you wear your Nimja shirt outside of the house or at work? No, it's a special shirt. Eagle's Eye asks, weirdest comment you've ever seen? Someone complained that anal arousal was only suitable for gay men. That, like, the way that was phrased made me just go like, what? Kevin Marsh asks, did you hear of Peter Jackson wanting to remake The Neverending Story? I did not. That is... oh, I don't know. Jennifer Andresen asks, do you have a favorite painting style? Ooh, that is an interesting question. I usually like sort of the fantasy art painting style, like what they use on magic cards as well. I don't know if that has a proper name. Noni asks, who's better, Batman or Superman? Choose very wisely. Why do I have to choose? I enjoy both. Sorry, I'm reading for actual questions. HP asks, would you sometimes like to get hypnotized more easily? Maybe. A little Oreo Pep asks, would you buy any of Ultra's or Fiona's merchandise? Probably not. Like, maybe if I meet them in person, I might have them, like, sign it for me, but more out of a funny thing, and I would be surprised if they didn't want me to sign something for them. Let's Draw asks, do you like board games? Sort of. Susie Brown asks, does it annoy you that you get the same question over and over in different lives? I think I've seen the question before in a different life. Tyler Young asks, do you play Magic the Gathering? If so, what style is your favorite? No, I haven't played it since, I don't know, 97. That was Magic the Gathering first edition here. Odd question. Bogdan the Lurker asks, odd question, but what is the wimpiest villain you've ever seen? The wimpiest? I don't know. Madleif asks, how much do you hypnotize people in real life? A lot. Nefarious asks, what inspired you to do hypnosis videos and ASMR? Well, I really enjoy hypnosis, and I was dissatisfied with what was out there. Luna asks, what's wrong with you saying water? Nothing, people just like my accent. Lorianne asks, what do you like most about the culture where you live? Generally, Dutch culture is very forward, and I kind of like it. Eagle's Eye asks, do you play Skyrim? Not for the last 2 years, but yeah, I played a lot of it. Rebecca Murphy asks, would you consider getting that really fancy ASMR microphone with the 2 ears? Well, no. See, the thing is, I am sure that you guys are enjoying the depth of my voice in this microphone. And I have looked for stereo microphones, but they do not pick up the bass as good as this one does. Moist Bread asks, what mystical powers would you like to have? Basically mind control. Or telekinesis. Preco Smile asks, do you enjoy tabletop role-playing games? Yes, I do. I've played quite a bit of them. Eagle's Eye asks, what was your favorite race to play in Skyrim? I think I played a Khajiit or a Wood Elf. Luna Star asks, can you notice me, senpai? Do you mean notice? I did. Let's Draw asks, do you like dragons? Yes. Moist Bread asked, have you ever been to a roller coaster ride? Yes, we have several roller coaster parks in the Netherlands. Balkan Mapping asks, how will you react if you see 200,000 subscribers on your channel? Yay. Rosetta Games asks, do you like to draw, paint or write? A bit. Moist Bread asks, what's your favorite dessert? Sahara. Actually, no, quite like the French crème brûlée. Kevin Marsh asks, if you had to pick Harley Quinn or Poison Ivy? Harley Quinn after she got turned by Poison Ivy. Alfred F. Jones asks, do you prefer to play the DM or the player in D&D? I enjoy both, actually. Becca Rose asks, and Golden Heart asks, Moist Bread asks, how do you plan to spend your Valentine's Day? I think it's a normal working day. Yeah, it's a normal Thursday, so probably nothing special. Then again, I try to make every day interesting, so nothing special doesn't mean that nothing happens. Cheyenne asks, does the channel getting bigger scare you at all? Yeah, a little bit. I mean, being famous has some very weird side effects, and not all of them are enjoyable. Rihanna asks, what would your reaction be if all of your subscribers were present on a live? Oh my god, there's 1,000, there's 100,000 people watching me right now. I can't say anything. Noni asks, do you have a favorite candy? Maybe wine gums. But I enjoy a lot of sweet things. Lily Jackson asks, if you could say one thing for people who self-harm, what would it be? I would say two things. One, you're not alone. Two, talk to people. Crystal Bubbles asks, is there a common stereotype about hypnosis or hypnotists that frustrates you? If so, what? I mean, movies are movies. Like, people have misconceptions and it just happens. Rebecca Murphy asks, have you ever gotten anything disturbing or dangerous in your P.O. box? Well, so if it's useful, I want to share like stuff that I get in there, but not everything is suitable for every language. So I very much enjoy some of the things I've gotten in there, but not everything I can share. The monkey in particular was a lovely surprise. Oh, dangerous questions. Madleaf asks, do you think white chocolate is chocolate? I do not have a strong opinion on it, honestly. Like, I like it. I like white chocolate, but it doesn't contain any cocoa, so Topkijk asks, do you have any favorite games if you play any? Yes, my favorite two games are like Portal 1 and 2 and Breath of the Wild. And lately I've been playing a lot of Just Cause 4 and Wonder Song. Dawn Hart asks, if you had a button that turned any number of people you chose the opposite gender or into a different species, would you use it? Well, if they wanted to. I mean, if people were like, yes, please turn me into another gender, then sure. Alfred F. Jones asks, what is the strangest place you have ever hypnotized someone? At a very busy club, like with loud music and everything. Rosetta Games asked, have you binged a series on Netflix? And if you have, which is it? Well, I tend to... Like, I don't binge that much. I still space series out. One of the last things I've watched was Final Space. Oh, I'm sorry, Luna Star. Daddy Little Girl or Pet Play videos. I'm sure they will come again, but I can't say when. Because, like, I just record based on what I want. Dawn Hart asks, what would you do if you were the ruler of the world with absolute power? Delegate. Becca Rose asks, have you always lived in Amsterdam? No, I was born on the other side of the Netherlands. Emma asks, can hypnosis cure diseases? So, hypnosis cannot directly affect your body. It can help you heal by making you less stressed. But hypnosis is not a replacement for medication. Talk to your doctors. Mackenzie asks, do you have a favorite way to hypnotize people? No, it really depends on the subject. Moist Bread asks, what would you do when you're a girl for a week? Pray that it is not the 1 week of a month that would suck. Lorianne asks, have you been recognized by people on the street from your videos? No. I am nowhere near like famous enough to be recognized on the street, and I don't think it'll happen anytime soon. Susie Brown asks, why did you originally upload to YouTube instead of other platforms? Actually, I uploaded to my own site before YouTube, except that I wanted it to be more available. And all the women in the chat are like, yes. Crystal Bubbles asks, you tend to do a side-eye when you give clever answers to questions. Are you looking to anything in particular? No, you can look up eye movements. It's a thing. I mean that, like, where people look has to do with the way they visualize internally. And mostly I'm focused on the chat, which is right in front of me, and I'm also sometimes checking other stuff, like if the stream is doing fine, if I have dropped frames, if YouTube is complaining, stuff like that. Jezebel asks, is it wrong that I think you would learn a lot from being a woman for that 1 week? It depends on what I'm doing. I mean, if it's only for 1 week, I think most of the time would still be spent on pure amazement and perverted things. It's when you spend time for a lot longer in a body that it becomes more relevant. Let's Draw asks, what kind of dragon would you like to be? Probably something shadow related. Sarah Deep asks, please answer on how I can concentrate on studies more. There is a easy learning video and a concentration video. Susie Brown asks, favorite girl and boy name. So there's a couple of names I like. Iris as a girl's name is really nice. Robin as a gender neutral name is really nice. And as a boy's name, Alexander is really pretty, but a bit long. Emma asks, is it possible to meet you in France? I am currently not planning on going to France. Cheyenne asks, are you able to snap with both hands? No. Little Oreo asks, how do you wake up a sub who doesn't want to wake? Probably in a way that doesn't quite get a smile. Rihanna asks, what annoys you the most when it comes to YouTube? That I have to do so much stuff still by hand. Lily Jackson asks, is it true that most Norwegian people speak English? Most European people speak English. And I'm not from Norway, but I think they do. Kevin Marsh asks, are you left or right-handed? Right. But I'm reasonably ambidextrous with a lot of things. Rico asks, what is the most embarrassing moment you can remember? It's kind of hard to quantify that. Susie Brown asks, why did you use the term drop instead of the more commonly used sleep trigger? Because I feel the word drop has way more like usability. You can use it as a rain thing or falling thing. You can do a lot of with it. HP asks, do you like the soundtrack of Human Fall Flats? It's fine. Alfred Jones asks, when you say dragon, what pops in your head first? 2 legs or 4? I am not entirely certain. Let's Draw asks, can you snap your fingers and say the words right now? I could. Becca Rose asks, what's your favorite genre of films, of movies? Probably action, if I have to choose one genre, or sci-fi. Moist Bread asks, would you panic if a gun is aimed next to your head? Well, not if it's not aimed at me, but if it's aimed at me and it's loaded, then I would definitely feel uncomfortable, yes. Lorianne asks, do people in Europe have preconceived opinions about Americans? Does anyone in any place have preconceived opinions about any other place? Yes. Cheyenne asks, have you seen history of the entire world, I guess? Yes, I have. I think everyone has. Rico asks, well, what about one of the best memory from your childhood? Well, see, that too is difficult, because how do you classify best? I mean, it's just difficult. Ooh, this is an interesting question. Lily Jackson asks, being part of the LGBTQ plus community, what is the best possible way of reacting to homophobic people without getting mad at them? You do you, I'll do me. Demi Kokoflav asked, have you ever played through Shadow of the Colossus? I have not. Alfred Jones asks, what is scarier to you, becoming blind or becoming deaf? Crystal Bubbles asks, other than yourself, do you have a favorite composer? Freddie Mercury, maybe? No, I'm silly. I think it's Koji Kondo, the guy who did Mario and Zelda. Jezebel asks me to not read out loud. You do you, I'll do me. What about you doing me? Nefarious asks, is it possible to hypnotize yourself? And if you can, how? Yes, it's called self-hypnosis. Moist Bread asks, are you the introvert or an extrovert at a party? It depends a little bit on what kind of party it is. Lars Magnus Sheen asks, how long have you been doing YouTube? Since 2014. Lily Jackson asks, have you ever listened to Hamilton? No. Eagle's Eye asks, strangest anecdote. See, like, again, it's really difficult to think of the worst or most intense thing of a single thing. Little Possum asks, are the people who are sensitive to ASMR stuff easier to hypnotize, or is it unrelated? I think it is related because a lot of ASMR is self-suggestion. Rebecca Murphy asks, would you consider checking out an American strip club whenever you visit? I mean, there are strip clubs here, and I don't find them particularly alluring. One of my employers took me to one. That was kind of a strange experience. I guess that counts as an anecdote. One of my employers took me and a few other colleagues to a strip club. Susie Brown asks, how do I convince my friends that hypnosis isn't weird? I'm sorry, I can't help you with that one. Have you seen my files? More seriously, though, like hypnosis by itself or trance states are completely natural. It's kind of silly. The Biggest Dreamer of All asks, on which date are you going to do hypnosis in real life and where do I need to be? You can see all of this on hypno.nimja.com/live. Crystal Bubbles asks, would you consider yourself protective of your viewers or listeners? Well, to a point. I want them to be safe, but I'm not responsible for everything you do. I am sorry, Rebecca, for shattering your dreams of meeting you at a strip club. Although, like, you can invite me there. Rosetta Games asks, what's your favorite song and what's the first song that pops into your head? One of them is the song Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. Moscow Live Games asks, what do you imagine when you have really bad times? I try to focus on good things, like gaming or writing. Moist Bread asks, how do you feel about domestic violence? Any violence that is not consensual is bad. Lorianne asks, do you have more male friends or female friends? I'd have to think about that. Probably female? Question mark. Moist Bread asks, demon or angel? Demons are usually more fun. Rebecca Murphy asks, what would your stripper name be? Nimja. I'm sorry. Lars Magnus asks, why is your name Nimja? Because that is my artist name. Alfred F. Jones asks, do you have a motto or catchphrase that isn't hypnosis related? I hope I will never actually have a catchphrase. And my motto is that, like, the only constant in all the failures in your life is you, which means that you can change it. Bogdan the Lurker asks, what would your demon name be? Nimja. Rihanna asks, worst meme you've ever seen? Oh, I have seen some terrible memes over time. Moist Bread asks, are you familiar with memes? Yes. It's very difficult to not be familiar with memes if you spend some time on the internet. I mean, I guess hello, I am Nimja is a catchphrase. Kurin asks, any anime you're interested in? The last one I've seen was Seven Sins. Cheyenne asks, how much time do you spend on the internet? Too much. Madeleine asks, do you do stage hypnosis? No, not really. Moist Bread, yes, 7 Deadly Sins. It's on Netflix. Nefarious asked, Nimja, is there any possible way you could get stuck in your hypnosis? No, the body can always wake up. For example, if you smell smoke or if your ringtone goes, you'll wake up. Susie Brown asked, how are you so comfortable talking about your kinks online? By practice. Demi Cocofluff asks, what must you do is a catchphrase? No, not really. It's more of a common phrase. A catchphrase should be more of an exclamation, like spoon. Bonus points if anyone gets that one. Jezebel asks, what is your opinion of stage hypnosis? I don't like stage hypnosis where the subject's safety and enjoyment is suffering because of the audience. So stage hypnotists who give the subject an amazing time are fine, but if they focus only on the audience, I feel that it is a missed opportunity. Let's Draw asks, are you planning to do stage hypnosis? Well, no, I've done like hypnosis at a conference or at workshops, but that's not stage hypnosis. Kevin Marsh asks, have you seen the movie yet of the 7 Deadly Sins? I have not. Oh, Lars Magnus Steen asks, when did you realize that you had a satisfying voice? Well, I use my voice in a satisfying way, and I don't smoke, I don't drink, so I don't ruin my voice either. I think most people can have a nice voice, just depending on how they use it. And yes, for the people, one of you at least noticed the reference. Cheyenne asks, do you eat soup with a fork or a spoon? Why would you ever eat it with a fork? That confuses me. Nefarious asks, can hypnosis help with depression? Well, anything serious should be discussed with a medical professional. And they may choose to use hypnosis as part of the therapy. Alfred F. Jones says, do you ever tell when you lie? Lying makes me deeply uncomfortable. I like things being correct. And if I say things that are incorrect, I don't feel comfortable. This is actually an interesting question. Kieran asks, any vices you had to drop to keep your voice's quality? Not so far. Moist Bread asks, do you drink non-alcoholic sparkling wine though? No, I mostly drink water. Kevin Marsh asks, best way to make your sub stop smoking? Make them responsible. HB asks, have you played Battle Block Theater? Yes, I have, Hattie. Susie Brown asks, have you ever had to catch someone when they've fallen into trance? Yes, I have. Like, I am more prepared for it now, but yes, I've been in a situation where someone flopped. Eliza Doll asks, do you like singing? No. Rosetta asks, do you like coffee? And no, I don't drink coffee. Param J asks, what is the meaning of life? 42. Moist Bread asks, how many games have you played? Hundreds. Like hundreds. I'm not joking. I think, yeah, like easily hundreds. Becca Rose asks, could you do a file about mood swings? Sure. No. Yeah. No. Okay, yes. Nefarious asks, can hypnosis make you do dangerous things that you don't intend to do? Well, it cannot really make you do things completely against you. Eagle's Eye asks, favorite Skyrim meme? I once was an adventurer like you. Cheyenne asks, how do you know beforehand if someone will drop straight down or pitch in a direction? Not very many people like flop instantly, so you can pay attention to them. Cyflo Mike Fangor asks, would you classify yourself as a gamer? I have played hundreds of games. I have over 600 games on Steam, and I've played the majority of them. Yes. Yes, I am a gamer. I could like try to deny it, but I am. Susie Brown asks, age you lost your virginity or age you discovered your kinks? See, discovering kinks is not really like one moment in time. It sort of happens over time when like maybe you're curious about tying someone up, or maybe you enjoy being tied up and you only later realize that it's like in a certain place in your mind. Luna Star asks, do you have Discord? Yes. For the people who support me on Patreon, there is a Discord channel. Let's Draw asks, how does it look like when someone is about to drop? Because I can't see myself drop. Usually they look zoned out. Golden Heart asks, do you know any songs by Frank Sinatra? Not off the top of my head, but I'm sure that I've heard quite a few of them. Madleaf asks, if you meet people or fans and you're hypnotizing them, are you always doing kinky hypnosis? No. The hypnosis I do with someone in public, first of all, depends on if both of us feel comfortable doing hypnosis, and what I do with them depends on the limits that we discuss. Before I do anything with someone, like especially someone new, is discussing limits, discussing what they like, what they dislike, what they want, what they definitely don't want. Moistbread asks, does anime cause rape? No, people do. Lunastar asks, Discord or Telegram? Discord. Don Hart asks, Nimja, will you ever make a Discord for people who aren't able to support you on Patreon? No. There's already several erotic hypnosis Discords. I don't feel like I need to make a Discord centered around me outside of the ones who support me. Caleb Seligman asks, I've listened to a few sessions, but I don't go unconscious fully. Am I still in hypnosis? Yes, you're still in a trance. Hypnosis isn't like sleep, so not everyone experiences it as complete unconsciousness. Anne Heerdink asks, are you originally Dutch? Yes, I am. Ik ben gewoon Nederlands en ik kan ook gewoon Nederlands spreken. Becca Rose asks, would you ever go out with a fan? I mean, I would meet them. Going out with them depends like what kind of connection I have with that person. Alfred F. Jones asks, do you have a favorite scene to think of when you relax? I don't know. I like water, but it depends a bit on where my head is at the moment. Or at the time. And indeed, Patreon is as low as $1 a month. I don't do this to make lots of money. I do my best to give the patrons a bit extra. Is the chat frozen for me? It looks like the chat might be frozen for me. Let me quickly check. And yes, I think the chat was frozen for me. But that was easily fixed. Yep. See, I typed Z just to make sure that I was seeing. Susie Brown asks, what time do you go to sleep and wake up normally? I usually go to sleep at around 11 to wake up at 7. I do my best to get 8 hours of sleep. And yes, I know that there's several Dutch people here. It's kind of nice to see that my channel is getting exposure within the Netherlands as well as outside. I thought Z was an appropriate letter. And I say Z instead of Z because if I say Z, it sounds like sleeping. Oh boy, we do have more Dutch people than I thought. Cheyenne asks, is there a particular thing you love seeing during inductions when hypnotizing people? Yes, I really enjoy seeing them zone out, to see sort of them fading out. Anne Heerdink asks, do you still live in the Netherlands? Yes, I do. I live in Amsterdam. And if you want to meet up with me, preferably in Amsterdam, so that like I don't have to travel too much, because a lot of people want to see me. And if I do all the traveling, I'll never be able to sit still. Lunastar asks, what's your Discord? I'm not telling you, I'm sorry. Don Hart asks, how does one see visual hallucinations in hypnosis? It depends on the person. I'm sorry, that's like a very difficult question to answer all at once. Susie Brown asks, can you say a nice phrase or sentence in French? Let me see if I can remember this. Je ne suis pas un fou, je suis un avion. Et tu ne me n'écris pas, tu descendu. Et n'oubliez pas ton parachute. Rebecca Murphy asked, do you have a preferred height for your partners? No, not really. Becca Rose asks, say something random in Dutch. I don't know what it means, but it sounds good. Want dan maakt het natuurlijk ook niet uit wat ik zeg, maar misschien zeg ik wel iets heel ontspannends. Kevin Marsh asked, can you try West-Vlaams from Belgium? Ja, alleen maar, wat wilt jij dan dat ik zeg? Shane asks, has the majority of nationality or age of listeners tilted in a new direction since the channel is growing? Not necessarily. There seems to be a very slight increase in people like between 18 and 24, I think. But gender-wise and location-wise, it's mostly the same. They're just more people. And, like, please don't worry about how you look or how tall you are. It's... Rebecca Murphy asks, do tall women intimidate you at all, or does anything intimidate you? I think if a person is capable of lifting me in their arms with ease, I would be somewhat intimidated, regardless of gender. I'm not that light, so that would be pretty impressive. If you're 1 inch tall, does that make you Thumbelina? I'm 187 centimeters. Or 6'2". Christarina asks, can you say, ik hou van je, jij domme pipo, please? It would make some people very happy. I think I know which people would be happy. Susie Brown asks, do you exercise regularly? And if so, what do you do for exercise? Not regular enough. However, I do bicycle to work, which helps a lot. Mr. Outlaw asks, what kind of games do you play? I play all kinds of games. Although mostly I focus on like action adventure. Storm Blackman asks, ben je Nederlands? Yes, I am. Apparently, the YouTube algorithm has decided to expose it to more Dutch people. Cheyenne asked, who made your live thumbnail? I did. Bogdan the Lurker asks, Nimja, what is best in life? What was it again? To see your enemies driven before you and hear the lamentation of their women? Demi Gogoflav asks, do you have any food allergies? I don't really have any allergies. Lorianne asks, how do you dress when not on YouTube? Nice, I hope. Long sleeve, jeans-ish. Well, like nice pants. Eagle's Eye asks, favorite quotes? Quotes can be attributed to anyone on the internet. Einstein. Anne Heerdink asks, how old are you actually? I am 38. Kevin Marsh asks, any insects you fear? Well, I mean, I don't like mosquitoes. Or anything else that stings. I'm okay with bees. I mean, bees are sweet. Preco Smell asks, showers or baths? Shower. Michaela asks, favorite thing to put in tea or coffee? Honey. I drink tea, not coffee. Little Possum asks, is it common for the same file to not work equally well on different days? Yeah, it depends on your state of mind. Alfred F. Jones asks, are there any English words that have different meaning in Dutch or vice versa? A few. Shane asks, before this ends, could you look up for a second because art reasons? Up? Nonny asks, your dream vacation? I don't know. That I have to think about that. Susie Brown asks, I miss your glasses. Do you wear contacts now? No, you might want to check the live. I think it was in August. I got laser eye surgery. Nonny asks, do you have a favorite stuffy? Maybe. Eagle's Eye, any country you want to visit? Yeah, there's a few countries I still want to visit. I do want to go to Japan at some point. And maybe I will definitely go to the US and Canada. Moist Bread asks, can I break your ribs apart and cuddle with your heart? I'm sorry, no, I need that. Michaela asks, what induction have you found most successful with in real life people? It depends. The little shelf induction is a very good one for beginners. And remember, people, 3 more minutes until we end. Lorian asks, any tattoos? Nope. Kevin Marsh asks, if you had to choose a name, Chloe or Jessie? See, Jessie to me sounds like a cowgirl, like Wild West, and Chloe sounds more, I don't know, more bookish. I don't know. Becca Rose asks, what's the weirdest nightmare or dream you've ever had? Well, the weirdest, actually, it's a funny question. The weirdest one I've had was not so much a weird nightmare by itself. In the nightmare, it was like a war and people were fighting with swords and I was also fighting with swords. That wasn't the weird part. Apparently, I'd been laying on my pillow in such a way that there were like lines all over my face. So after I woke up, I was still a bit groggy and I looked in the mirror and I thought I had like scars all over my face from the sword fighting. So, like, it was sort of weird. Cheyenne asks, do you publicly post all your fan art you get on YouTube or can I ask you to not do that? You can definitely ask me to not do that. I always ask for permission before I share it publicly. And yes, I'm sorry, everything will eventually come to an end. Nonny asks, are you afraid of heights? No. And yes, I may have told the story about the dream before. Moist Bread asks, can you say a bad word in Dutch? Yes, I am very capable, but I tend not to curse very much. Susie Brown asks, if with a partner, would you make them sleep at your feet or cuddle with them in bed? Yes. Nonny asks, can you touch your nose with your tongue? No. Last question. On a scale from 1 to 10, what is your favorite color of the alphabet? Lavender. Which incidentally is a color. Noni asks, can you whistle? Yes, in multiple ways, actually. Anyway, it is time to end. I'm glad that everyone had so much fun. Now, I hope to see you all again, and I again want to thank all my patrons for their continued support. It is absolutely humbling and amazing to see all the comments, all the donations, all the messages that I get. Thank you all. It means a lot. This was Nimja Live. Wake.